All right. I have a confession. I've been in rooms with people I think are just brilliant, and my mind is racing with one single thought that drowns everything else. I don't belong here. Any second now, they're going to figure out they've lost me. That feeling, that knot in your stomach, we often call it imposter syndrome. It isn't actually a formal diagnosis, but more of a phenomenon, a collection of feelings. But let me tell you, the experience is incredibly real. It's that consistent fear of being exposed, and that fear gets so much louder when you decide to learn something new out in the open. This feeling isn't just a quick moment of self doubt. It can feel like you're carrying around a heavy secret. It's the pressure of trying to keep up a competent front when you're pretty sure you have no idea what you're doing. For me, this showed up as a terrible cycle of anxiety. Before any big project or meeting, I'd either procrastinate until the very last second because I was scared to even start, or I'd over prepare to a ridiculous degree. I was working twice as hard just to feel half as ready. And when I actually succeeded, when a project got praised or a meeting went well, there'd be a tiny moment of relief, but then a voice in my head would immediately explain it away. That wasn't skill, it was just luck. I didn't trick them this time, but I will next time. So instead of building my confidence, every success just made me fear worse. The higher I climbed, the further I felt I had to fall when I was eventually found out. It's an exhausting way to live, and it can stop you from taking risks or applying for jobs you're absolutely ready for. For years, I thought this feeling was a personal failure, like a bug in my own programming that I had to fix. The turning point for me wasn't some big dramatic moment. It was a small but powerful shift in how I saw things. I was in one of these meetings again, feeling totally intimidated by how smart everyone was. The usual panic started to bubble up, but then a totally different thought cut through all the noise. What if feeling out of my depth wasn't a sign that I was in the wrong room? What if it was a sign that I was in the exact right room? These people weren't here to judge me. They were here to challenge me. Their expertise wasn't a mirror reflecting my own flaws. It was a resource for my own growth. I started to see that imposter feeling not as a stop sign, but as a GPS pin dropped right at the edge of my comfort zone. It was a signal. It was my brain's way of saying, hey, pay attention. You're about to learn something. Now, reframing it this way doesn't mean it's scientific proof of ambition, but it's an incredibly powerful tool. Feeling uncomfortable isn't a sign to run away, it's a sign that growth is happening. This led me to a new way of thinking. Imposter feelings are a feature, not a bug. They're the subscription fee you pay for living an ambitious life. If you're pushing yourself and taking on new challenges, you're going to feel out of your depth sometimes. It's especially common among high achievers. When you think about it that way, it kind of takes the shame out of it. It's not proof that you're a fraud, it's proof that you're leveling up. So when you feel that little twang of self doubt, you can learn to recognize it for what it is: the feeling of your comfort zone stretching, the feeling of new connections being made in your brain. It's the price of admission for a life of learning. This was where the real work starts. Once you reframe the feeling, you have to learn how to just sit with it. The goal isn't to make the discomfort disappear. The goal is to get more comfortable with being uncomfortable. The more you can welcome that feeling of being a total beginner, of not knowing, the more progress you'll make. For a long time, I thought this meant I had to just be tough and push through it, but that never really worked for me. It just felt like I was fighting myself ultimately. The real change happened when I stopped thinking of it as pushing myself and started thinking of it as showing up for myself. Showing up for myself means you trust the process. It means you get that learning is messy and never a straight line. It's giving yourself permission to be a beginner. It's having some self compassion when you mess up and seeing it as a learning opportunity, not proof you're not good enough. This isn't about forcing yourself into painful situations. It's about gently and consistently stepping into challenges because you believe you can learn and adapt. It's a quiet act of self trust. It's telling yourself, I'm a learner. This uneasy feeling is part of it. I'm here to grow, and then acting like it. So, how do you actually practice this? How do you build that muscle of being comfortable with discomfort? You learn in public. I know what you're thinking. Wait, you want me to take this intense fear of being a fraud and put it on display for the whole world? Are you crazy? And yeah, it sounds terrifying, but it's one of the most powerful things you can do to speed up your growth and quiet those imposter feelings. Learning in public isn't about pretending you are an expert. It's the complete opposite, actually. It's about sharing your journey, messes, and all. When you write a post about something you just figured out, share code from a project you're tinkering with, or make a video about a new skill you're trying to learn, you're doing a few things at once. First, you're teaching to learn. Trying to explain a concept to someone else is one of the fastest ways to find the gaps in your own understanding. Second, you're building a portfolio of your progress over time. You'll have a real tangible record of how far you've come, which is pretty hard evidence against that voice in your head telling you that you're learning nothing. And third, most importantly, you invite feedback and build community. You'd be amazed at how many people are dealing with the exact same thing when you share your struggles. It turns learning from this lonely, frustrating thing into something collaborative. Of course, it's important to say that sharing publicly isn't a magic cure. For some, especially those in marginalized groups who face more criticism, it can even increase anxiety. The key is to find supportive communities and share in a way that feels safe for you. I know this video is a little different than what I normally post here, but I think it's an important one to make because I don't have all the answers myself either. I'm figuring this out right along with you. Subscribe for weekly GRC and AI governance intel. And think about it like this. Every time you share what you're learning, you're doing a rep for your courage muscle. You're proving to yourself that you can feel the fear of being judged and do the thing anyway. You are right then and there turning the position of imposter feelings to the medicine of connection and growth. So, my question to you is, what are you learning right now? What's one small thing you could share about your process this week? Drop it in the comments. I genuinely love to see what you're working on. That feeling of being an imposter, that fear of being found out, it might never disappear completely, but it doesn't have to be a weight that holds you down. It could be a compass. It can be the signal that you're on the right path, that you're stretching, that you're growing. Seeing the discomfort as just part of the process can make you more motivated and just happier overall. It's not about being fearless. It's about acting even when you're afraid. It's about changing the story from I'm a fraud to I'm a learner. And it's about showing up for yourself with trust and kindness. The price of admission for a life of growth is feeling like you don't belong sometimes. Pay that price. Do it scared and keep learning.